They are using cars instead of guns. We've got to stop it. And the way to stop it is education. Massachusetts requires now that all police officers entering the academy must complete a course in bicycle safety and bicycle law. Why can't we do that here in Los Angeles? Officer Cho, the police officer who was in charge of this incident, there are people I know who would like to see him fired. I don't want to see him fired. I want to see him required to ride with the Midnight Riders on one ride. Just one. So he can see what actually happens out there and the dangers that cyclists face every day. And as a final comment, Mr. Weiss, I am so glad to see you here today because I know you're running for city attorney. You have a room full, not bicyclists, a room full of voters.
Thank you, sir.
And it's time
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anton, and just as a reminder, if folks can address the council as a whole, please. Anton, and I'm sorry if I butchered, how do you pronounce your last name? Xenz. Good morning,
Councilman and women. My name is Anton. I'm a former member of the Los Angeles City Council Youth Council. Recently graduated from high school, and I got my car 1 year ago. 6 months after, because of the gas prices, I got my bicycle. Now, I don't want to imagine all the people like me who've chosen to ride a bicycle instead of to use the transportation, 18 years old and younger, have to face with motorists. I mean, we are the youth, and we're going to be voting soon after, and we don't want to be threatened by the cars. And we just want to see the same protection that are given to motorists that should be given to cyclists. Because, as the former cyclist said, we are facing a 6-ton car. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have somebody who lives at 3454 Marathon Street? 3454 Marathon Street? Oh. Going once. Sorry. Just identify yourself for the record. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chris Pennington. I live in Silver Lake, which I think is your jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
I've been biking for almost 10 years. I've been biking in New York and in Boston and now in LA. LA is definitely my favorite city to bike in. But I think what all of our stories have in common is that LA is it's wasted potential. LA should be the #1 biking city in the country for weather, for topography. It's beautiful here, it's fun to ride here, and it's such a waste. I mean, all you ever hear about with Via Ragosa or whoever is like this train that they want to take to the beach. Awesome, but you know what? A can of paint's a lot cheaper, and I wouldn't mind seeing some bike lanes other than the short one on Sunset or whatever. These are really, really easy solutions. It doesn't have to be this overreaching, grandiose thing that has to be done. There's really things that can be done, like shovel-ready jobs or whatever you want to call it, that can be done immediately. So I would really love to see LA take the lead in helping to green our city and green our country, work with the governor, get something going on, get some funds down here, and make LA really a shining example of what bicycle culture should be in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Thank you for coming down. Ivan Therian? And after that is Veronica Haragi.
Hi, good morning, LA City Council. My name's Ivan Therian, and I live in Hollywood. I've been cycling in Los Angeles for 5 years, both commuting to work and on the weekends riding up PCH. Though, as mentioned before, there's definitely a sense of entitlement, both by drivers and some that work for LAPD, that we don't have a right to be on the roads, and we know that not to be the case at all. Many times I've been pushed to the shoulder of the road very tightly by motorists that feel I should not even be on the road, and you have to take what's the best road of action for you, either jump off the road, get on the sidewalk, or even have to run a red light or a stop sign. And in one particular incident, there was a driver that was honking me off the road, and I had to get away from that driver. I had to run that red light, unfortunately, to get away from that person. And sure enough, a motorcycle cop stopped me. I tried to explain to the motorcycle cop why I was trying to get away from the driver who was trying to run me off the road, essentially. He didn't want to hear it. He had nothing, he could care less. I mean, he was not familiar with cyclist rights or the idea that I could possibly run off the road or injured. He just did not care. He had a quota to meet as far as I was concerned, and that was that. As well, that being an issue, this issue of cyclists having to carry licenses, which we've been cited for previously, it's my understanding that William Bratton has a moratorium on that issue about cyclists having cyclist licenses. Those licenses were only to basically account for stolen bikes, and that's going through its process. But if that's in a moratorium, then we as cyclists should not be cited for not having cyclist licenses. Many of us here have been cited for those, and we would appreciate a memorandum to be once again passed with the LAPD stating as such that it is in moratorium and should not be, we as cyclists should not be cited for not having cyclist license. It's very simple. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Veronica is next. After that is NC.
Good morning. I think the council has the power to bring on a fine for motorists that harass bicyclists. I think that would be the only solution that the police would actually implement, because then there'd be money involved. The police need to be more consistent with their behavior to bicyclists, and LAPD needs to protect the weakest on the road, which are the pedestrians and bicyclists, scooters. We need to be safe on the road, and only the police can do this. Their inconsistency shows that they have no training in dealing with bicycles, because they always give the upper hand to the motorists, and they've let the motorists go on all occasions. I think that we ride at night because there's a reason. It's very dangerous to ride during the day. There's less cars at night, and I don't think it's the motorist's fault or the bicyclists. The LADOT has not given any funds to bicycling. They've turned it over to road projects for at least 5 years that I've known. Even if they connected all the bikeways, it would only be $60 million, and that was the cost of just the bridge over Valley that was just done. I think that's it. I think there's one more thing I have to say. Take your time. 44 seconds. Oh, the streets right now, the LADOT standard is 12 feet. That only gives 2 feet for the bicyclists, and that's the most dangerous. There is also a 10-foot standard, which means that they have to share the road, and a 14-foot standard. But they only use a 12-foot standard. So if the infrastructure were to change, just paint the lines a little different, remove parking, it would be a lot safer. Less people would be in trouble. Everything would be better to bicycle. It would be simple. It's all on the DOT. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. NC is our next speaker. After NC is DJ Wheels. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for taking your time and listening to us. My name is NC. I was born and raised in Hungary when it was still under communist rule. Wherever I traveled, wherever I lived, I was always treated as a second-class citizen until I set foot on American soil. In America, I tasted freedom and equality like never before, until I got on my bicycle. On my bike, I've been harassed, I've been knocked down, I've had things thrown at me, I've been left lying on the street without any help from law enforcement or drivers, without any response from our city leadership. I'm asking you, why did I lose my rights when I got on my bike? Where are our council members to protect cyclists in their council district? Where are the council members when we ask to be protected not only from dangerous drivers but also from uneducated and abusive police officers? I'm asking you to make the city green by protecting the vulnerable, by endorsing the Cyclist Bill of Rights, by demanding from the LAPD to be sensitive and to be educated about cyclist rights on the road. And I'm asking for the full support of our judicial system, and I expect that those who endanger, injure, or kill cyclists to be dealt with the full extent of the law. Thank you.
Thank you, NC. Our next speaker is DJ Wheels. After that is Elizabeth Acosta.
Good morning, council members. Thank you all for your time. My name is actually Daniel. Born and raised in Los Angeles. I rode my bike today approximately 12 miles from Glassell Park to be here this morning and speak with you. Rather than rehash a lot of these horror stories that you've been hearing so far and that you probably will hear a few more, I'd actually like to give you a little bit of free legal advice. I'm also an attorney. I've worked defending public entities such as cities, police departments, fire departments, in my young legal career. There are a lot of civil actions that get filed against public entities when they're members, representatives do not act reasonably.